Hello, fur ball lovers. So today we're going to do a little short reaction video to some leash training where I agree, where I disagree, and let's get to it.
The reason dogs pull on the leash is because when they pull, they tend to get to where they want to go faster.
Well, that is true. That's a very general statement in my mind, and I think drilling down into specifics is very helpful when trying to extinguish a bad behavior. Is your dog pulling because they like to chase things, they're very distracted? Are they a general puller just on everyday walks? And depending upon what the reason is for pulling, that can influence how you want to orchestrate the solution to that problem.
You do not have a very stretchy leash, which is good. But the one thing we want to make sure that when we walk her is if she pulls, she does not get to go where she wants to go.
Once again, that's pretty generalized. I think there's a couple of good ways to combat problem behaviors. One is going to be training incompatible behavior. If your dog likes to jump, teach it to sit. You can do that consistently. If your dog sits, it cannot jump, therefore it's incompatible. You can also use punishment. That's kind of a mixture. He's using a mixture of incompatible training or incompatible behaviors and punishment here with the leash correction.
I mean, the main challenge logistically is you guys live on this hill, and we're going to be doing a lot of turning around. As long as she's on a loose leash, I'm going to let her go, but obviously if she pulls, we're going to stop.
So right there, that's a correction. I do like the idea of kind of turning around, making your dog pay attention to you, following you, being very attentive towards you. If you just walk in one direction for a very long period of time, your dog knows where you're going. They're not really going to look back at you very often. If you keep turning around repeatedly, that is kind of like a punishment, and it's also showing the dog, hey, I have to pay attention to my walker or else I'm going to get that punishment.
And I'm literally just going to wait for her to look at me, and once she looks at me, we can keep going. So you can back up a little bit. She wants to be with you, so you can back up if you want. Okay.
I do like the idea of waiting until the dog looks back at him waiting until the dog looks back at him before he keeps going again. That's essentially training a behavior. You're training your dog to look at you before you give your dog the reward of going on the walk again. This dog clearly wants to go on that walk.
Good. Yeah, I like to.
Just a gentle,
Yep. I hold the leash near my body like this, you can see, so my arms don't stick out like that.
And that's why I think using a prong collar here could be very useful. Even though the dog's not pulling hard, the prong collar is going to hurt it. I put a prong collar on myself, believe it or not, to test out how painful it is. It's really not too painful. But with dogs that like to pull a lot, this dog seems to be pretty consistent in it. It gives you, like, you can give short corrections, timely corrections, and what that allows you to do is it allows you to reward your dog for not pulling. So what I like to do is have the prong collar on. If they tighten that leash, I'll give them a little correction. When that leash is loose, I'll be verbally praising the dog, give it some treats, things like that. But you want to show the contrast between when your dog does the bad behavior, which in this case is pulling, and when the dog is in a good state, in this case not pulling, and giving your dog rewards. And so you show them the contrast between the punishment of doing the wrong thing and the reward of doing the right thing.
I do have a treat in my hand, but she's only going to get a treat for walking next to me and paying attention to me. If she pulls and then comes back and looks at me, I don't want her to get a treat for that.
Right. That's actually a very good observation that you did right there. This is, once again, training an incompatible behavior. So you want to train your dog to heel here in this case. And he made a very good observation, whereas if you give your dog a treat every time they pull and then come back to you, you're actually training them to pull. So he's actually a pretty good trainer.
Or else she'll just pull, come back, get a treat.
Right.
Pull, come back, get a treat. Heck go.
All right, well, I think that's pretty much the end of the video. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. I think this guy is a pretty good trainer. I think he is a little bit general with his terms here. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you next time.